Come on, the Hungry Eyes franchise apparently hasn't been finished yet. We have 3 movies. The first 2 movies released almost in sequence in the year 2001 and 2003, the third movie released only in 2017. For me, it doesn't add much to the franchise because it ended up being a prequel narrating events that took place before the second movie, so we already knew the creeper wasn't gonna die. The only thing that Hungry Eyes 3 managed to do was keep everyone waiting for the fourth movie. The best and the most useful stuff we can use is the second movie. What is the hungry-eyed monster? The creeper, so far we know a few things about him. That every 23 years he comes back to life with an insatiable hunger, and for 23 days he is on the loose killing and feeding on everyone that crosses his path, or almost everyone he has to like yours. So if you haven't taken a shower for +3 days, everything's fine, it's a joke. But it works out right. The creature only feeds on body parts. For example, it needs a lung to breathe. It will only eat your lung. We also know that it is very old. And I think that worm that looks like the baby of the alien or the head of the predator may be controlling the body and not a brain, because the animal has already taken so many blows to the head that if it had something there, it would have died a long time ago. And after the 23 days of killing, he goes into some hibernation mode and waits for a new cycle. Hey guys, are you enjoying the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps to make more people see the video and the channel to grow more and more. In this videos, we will follow the story in Hungry Eyes and Hungry Eyes 2 while I give tips on how to escape the situations that happen in the film. In the first film, we have Derry and Trish walking along that road you already used to cut that path and avoid a traffic jam, or even to see a different landscape. But we know this is usually a bad idea in horror movies. Soon they spot what looks like an abandoned house with someone pouring stuff into a pipe. At first they don't care much, but the guy who was dumping the bodies didn't like the look they gave them and started following them with a tuned van playing terror on them until he managed to get the car off the road and give us a hell of a shit, too. Well, anyone in that situation would already be terrified and would start the car going in the opposite direction looking for the police and calling for the mother. But Derry decides to go back and check what was thrown in those pipes and convinces Trisha to go back to that place. Tip number 1. Don't go back to the place where suspicious things are happening. The chance of you being left is great. Just go in the opposite direction and notify the police. This day. Seriously, who goes back to an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere after being chased by someone who was there dumping bodies? Returning there, they discover that it is an abandoned church, but they arrive at the place in the worst possible way. Which leads to tip number 2. If you happen to be very curious and have to go explore the place, be smart and come up with a plan beforehand to enter an unknown location. Hide the car on some side road, check the place to see if there are no more people, and see if the place doesn't have any intruder traps. Derry manages to fall into the pipe and discovers several bodies, and someone even tries to talk to him but ends up dying without being able to say anything. If I had seen that giant scar on the guy's belly, at least I would have thought of some organ trafficking network and tried to leak from there as soon as possible, warning the police about it. But he continues investigating until he finds several bodies hanging from the ceiling as if it were a macabre Sistine Chapel. They manage to leave, I don't know how they were so lucky, and stop for gas instead of just gas. And run to the next police station. They make the cops come to them. No. I would still be driving until I got to the third city. To be far away from the creature, maybe it would give up coming after me and lose my scent. But the creeper follows them to the post and gives a stalker smelling all Derry's clothes. After that, they leave for the police station, but are interrupted by the police being slaughtered by the monster. Apparently, the monster likes to incite fear in the people it's going to devour, so it plays with them both and ends up getting run over several times by Trish. Tip number 3. If you notice the monster was just kidding, take the chance to give as much of it as possible. Possible hits, in the case of possible runovers, and also pass on the head, is where the creeper's nose is. I think smashing the creeper's head would make it difficult for him to track the two. I would also pick up those knives that fell on the hood, usually using the enemy's weapon against them is one of the best strategies. And after doing all this, we have tip number 4, which is change your smell. Knowing that the creature is following you by the smell, you could try to mask this smell with different perfumes, or even get clay, plants, and leaves to put on your clothes, and also get rid of the old clothes that are in your car. They are serving as a GPS for the creeper. And I don't know why she didn't go over her head once. I guarantee that it would have made it very difficult for the monster to follow the two by scent, or to have caught the knife that fell on the hood of the car and stabbed the animal. Apparently, the more hurt he's, weaker he gets. Something that could have been done was try to camouflage his scent before moving on, passing mud on the body, leaves and plants through his clothes. Anything would be valid to try to trick the creature's sense of smell. When they arrive at the police station, they receive a visit from the psychic who had previously given Derry some tips, but she is unable to give any conclusive tips to the brothers. Tip number 5. Seeing that the medium had already got it right about the music part, among other things, they should have confirmed her story to alert everyone at the police station so they wouldn't be taken by surprise. But in my opinion, in the first movie, the creature was too strong to be defeated, just like the psychic speaks. So any attempt would be frustrated. Tip number 6. Knowing what the creature was capable of, the best way is to always keep moving so you don't get caught, but they do the exact opposite and sit in the police station waiting for their parents. They could have gone to the front door and fled by car while the creature was in the cells. But I think Derry's death couldn't be avoided. The first movie was more to introduce the creature and show how strong it was, and then it fed on fear, and Trish learned that lesson while the monster took her brother and ignored her, who was butting heads with the creeper, much like Pennywise from It, who loves to strike fear into his prey. In the second films, the monster chases students who are returning from a game, well stereotyped. Right, cheerleaders and football players usually die in all horror movies. While he is chasing the bus, a farmer who lost his son to the creature starts assembling a weapon against the beast, and it looks like he's going to use his own knife against the creeper. Finally, someone with an idea that might work. The kids on the bus even manage to fight back a little. But the creature seems to be immortal, because not even losing half of his head, he dies. He just gets weaker. After a while, farmer arrives with his son already firing the cannon at the monster, which initially, by the impact, seems to have some effect. And let's say this guy must be some kind of retired soldier. Because the old man's aim was impeccable, the monster takes 2 harpoons and ends up needing to regenerate and will look for easier prey to kill, aka other teenagers. But they manage to find a truck and try to run away from the creature. They even manage to make the animal go inside the truck and get extremely injured. Was it just me that got more scared this way than usual? Bro, how does this guy miss so many shots at the animal? I really wanted to see the creeper on fire. Tip number 7. Maybe if Jack had taken more harpoons to trap the creature, like he did after capturing it on his farm, maybe it would be enough to stop the creeper. I think he is immortal as long as he has food available, so the best solution would be immobilize him, preventing him from eating. With the monster almost killing the boy, Jack, the angry farmer, manages to hit the monster one more shot and gets closer to deliver the final blow to the chest. However, seeing that it's not enough, he continues to hit the creature until her time runs out, and taking the animal to his farm waiting for the creeper to come back in the next cycle. I think it wouldn't hurt to set the animal on fire and keep the ashes in a place insurance just to be sure. So guys, what did you think of this video? Does anyone have any other ideas on how to kill the hungry-eyed creature? I honestly think we'll find out in the 4th movie of the franchise, Livy. Leave here in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until the next video.